episode of Evil Content Cop, we are going to be taking a look at Finn Mckenty's newest video regarding his channel update. Now, as of time of recording, this is his newest video, but he could have come out with some slop since this video, okay? But he's out here with an honest channel update, and I thought, as the Evil Content Cop, as Evil idubbbz, I have to come on here and see if this is a piece of content that I have to charge Finn Mckenty for any misdemeanors or felonies. Now, it's no secret that I've had a critical thing to say about Finn Mckenty once or twice on this channel, okay? I used to actually have some nice things to say about Finn Mckenty. There's actually kind of a whole character arc, anime arc going on here. There is deep Dan Frampton, Finn Mckenty lore, okay? So basically where we're standing at this whole thing is he's at the top of my niche with no ideas, and I'm at the bottom of my niche with so many ideas. So I'm coming for the crown. Now, I have no idea what this guy is going to be saying in this video. This is 100% a blind reaction, okay? But I need to know what this honest channel update is all about. Is it really that honest? Because I made a video earlier on in the year, maybe late last year, that I'm coming for the crown, okay? So when I see people in the comments going, hey, you kind of look like idubbbz. Hey, you kind of are like Finn Mckenty Jr. That's fine. That's dandy. Do you see what I'm doing over here? This is Evil idubbbz coming for the punk rock MBA YouTube content creator crown, okay? So Finn Mckenty, tell us all about this channel update.
Hi everybody, I just wanted to do a channel update video here and I guess share some things I've been thinking about recently. If you want—
Oh wow, he's coming in, he's being very authentic. We didn't get his normal stinger straight to your face with the truth. He's just gonna hit us with some truth. Why not just do this, Finn Mckenty? If you're able to just set up and shoot authentically, why don't you just set up and shoot authentically? What's with this prefabricated packaging that you have going on in every single one of your videos?
Watch my second channel. I did a video like this last week, at least as of now, as the time I'm recording this, it was last week. The stuff I'm going to talk about here,
P.S. I stole the title of this video from Johnny Gilbert. Oh man, I'm wearing my Johnny Gilbert shirt right now. Don't ever accuse me of ever doing anything deliberately on this channel.
I think I talked about a lot of that in that video, but it didn't really come out the way that I wanted it to. I think I maybe came off a little bit more whiny or something like that than I wanted to, so
that should be the video that I'm reacting to. But I'm glad you're giving yourself a take two. You went on your second channel, probably middle of the night David Dobrik style. That seems like the kind of sleazy way that you'd go about it. I'm saying that baselessly, by the way. I have no facts that that's what you did with your content. I have no idea. But we're here for take number two. And lights, camera, action.
So I thought I would just try again on this channel and hopefully express myself a little bit better than I did in that video.
I'll let you know if you express yourself well and articulately enough, Finn Mckenty.
And I don't really have a script for this. I'm just going to kind of talk for a little bit and we'll see what happens.
He was very trepidatious about that. That's me every time I cam up. I don't have a script for any of this. I know what I'm doing. I know who I am. I know where I'm going and the path that I'm going to get there, okay? That's all you need to know as a performer.
First thing to talk about is that I am not really happy with the content I've been making for probably the last year or maybe a little bit more. I don't really think it's great. I think that those videos, basically, I've jokingly said that they're Wikipedia summaries, but for the most part, that's really honestly what they are.
Okay, so he is admitting it and agreeing with all of my criticisms that I had about it. This is great. This is wonderful. This is good news. This is a step in the right direction. Are you going to be making the right choices for the rest of this video and then after this video? Let's see.
think a lot of that stuff doesn't really have a lot of the stuff that was in my old videos. Like I think my videos in say 2018, 2019, maybe even 2020, I think those videos were better for a few reasons. Number one, I took a lot more chances in terms of talking about different kind of topics and artists and genres and stuff like that I stopped talking about after that. Quick little note here as I'm editing, just to be more specific. So at that time, I was making a lot more videos about stuff like emo rap at the time, trap metal. I made a video about like sad boy pop punk. And
those are actually classic videos. If I'm being honest with you, those are classics. Bangers. They slap.
in general, I just sort of went out of my way to include a lot of newer artists. So, you know, for example, my video about what killed pop punk, at the end of that, I talked about a lot of newer artists that were sort of embodying the spirit of pop punk. And at the time, that was people like Cold Heart and, you know, Goth Boy Click and stuff, who did actually end up going on to become pop punk artists. And I really kind of have walked away from that because I just sort of felt like, you know, what's the point of even trying to do that, for reasons that I'll talk about in a minute.
Okay, well, I do understand where you're coming from, and those videos were good, and you made a conscious choice to change the direction of that. That's okay, and I don't think that you necessarily need to talk about up-and-coming artists all the time. There's not a lot of security in that, especially on YouTube, you know? And I talk about a lot of smaller bands, hardcore bands like that, and a lot of the time, that stuff doesn't get any traction because people don't care about it. So you end up having to be a little bit more inflammatory than you want to be in order to like garner the clicks, because you're talking about something very, very small. And it's very much an easier cheat code to be like, okay, I'm going to talk about something that I know everybody is searching for right now. So input Blink-182 video number 365. And I definitely am guilty of that as well. You just kind of have to have a different take, a different angle on it every time that you approach it. And hopefully that there's more going on. There's something that you can update. But anyway, I'm getting ahead of myself. Let's hear Finn Mckenty out here.
Number two, I added more of my own sort of personality and opinions and thoughts and analysis and stuff to those videos back then, which I stopped doing. And I want to talk about why I stopped doing that.
I was like, I used to put like my personality and stuff into my videos. I used to like express myself, but I don't do that anymore. So here's why I stopped doing that. Very interesting. I'm hooked, Finn Mckenty, because you're basically saying I stopped being myself, stopped putting out authentic content. I did it on purpose, and here's the reason why. Okay. Is it going to be the security? Is it going to be like you need to know that a video is going to slap because you know the people are going to click on it? What's going to be the reasoning here?
So that maybe you guys can help me figure out what to do about that. So the reason why is basically because when I would talk about those other genres, or when I would add my own opinions and thoughts and analysis and stuff, two things happen. Number one, I would get lower views. Number two, I would get a lot more negative comments.
Yes, that is exactly what happens when you do those things. That comes with the territory, my friend. You just gotta do it. You gotta be yourself unapologetically. Do you think that I don't get that kind of pushback, that I don't get that kind of hate because I inject maybe a little bit too much personality, maybe a little bit too much vitriol into my videos? Go check out my recent Slipknot video. It doesn't have a lot of love in the comment section. Comes with the territory. It changes from topic to topic. It's gonna fluctuate. It is YouTube out here, which is why I'm on here every single day to varying degrees of success. So I know it's easier to be like, okay, I know my audience likes new metal, so I'm gonna make new metal videos. I know my audience wants like strange histories of blah, 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 blah. So I'm just gonna make strange history number 3,565, which is gonna be the exact same video as the last video I did, but just like it's a different band.
For example, the video that I made back in 2021 about trap metal, which I thought was a really cool video that I put a lot of energy into. And at that time, I was very excited about those artists. I mean, even at that time, I feel like trap metal was kind of like, I don't want to say over, but certainly past its prime. But still, it was a relatively new thing that I was excited about, and I thought it was cool. And I still think it's cool. And that video was like one of my most disliked videos ever. It got like, they removed the dislike count, so I don't know what.
There's definitely an extension where you can see the dislikes, and in the YouTube studio, Finn Mckenty. Okay, I'm just gonna like totally break kayfabe right now, and I'm gonna show you. I'm gonna bring up my Slipknot video. So you just go into your studio right here, your little studio, Finn Mckenty, on your app. You find that video that you got all that hate on. For me, it was my recent Slipknot video here. 19,000 views, which is pretty good for me, right? So you just go into that video here, easy peasy, go down, then click on to where all your stats are, easy, done over here, right? And then over here in engagement, let me see this little tab up here, click engagement, step by step, you go all the way down, likes versus dislikes, I'm sitting at a cool 31%, okay? Which is very bad, which is atrocious on the platform by any metric. And then you want to know how you get the actual number without even getting an extension on your Chrome browser or whatever? All you got to do, my friend, give that a click. Boom! You go right in. And it tells you right here, okay? So you're being disingenuous right now, or you don't know stuff. And you've been extremely rude to me in the DMs about the analytics, like app over here, about Studio. So you're either being like disingenuous with me and an asshole to me, or you're lying to the audience right now, because you can get that information right here. In my case, it's likes 354. Compared to the dislikes. Can you see it there? No, you can't really see it there. But the dislikes, okay, 786. That is a crazy dislike ratio. So you're lying right now in your video, in this honest channel update. All the goodwill that you built up in the first half of this video with me, I'm on board. You're admitting to the stuff, you're saying the things, boom. All you gotta do is own up to it and change. You know what I mean? That's all it is. Own up to the thing and then learn from the thing. But then in the same breath, you're like, I don't know exactly how many dislikes that trap metal video has. Yes, you have the power to do it in 3 seconds, 3 or 4 different clicks. I'm getting heated over here, Finn Mckenty. Stop lying through your goddamn teeth, brother.
What the exact number is, but on average my videos get on average my videos get 9.
But to be fair, I gotta be fair, if I just cammed up and I was being authentic and just talking from the heart like this, like he's doing right now, I wouldn't have those numbers locked away in my brain too. So maybe I'm being a little bit ruthless there when I'm calling him a liar. He is trying to be vulnerable right now, and he is trying to own up to all of this kind of stuff. I gotta give him the benefit of the doubt. Okay, let's slip back. I'm sorry, I got a little heated. I got a little nuts out here, Finn Mckenty.
97% likes. This one got 86% likes.
Okay, he's there. He's doing the thing. All you gotta do is click the button one more time, and you get the numbers. Click the button one more time, Finn Mckenty.
So it got somewhere around like 5 or 6 times more dislikes than usual.
Click the button one more time. All you gotta do is press one more click. Oh, we get the numbers. We get the ratio. Oh, you robbed us. And then on desktop, it's a little different. On desktop, it's right away. You get to see it like immediately in the column. But I'm not here to do YouTube analytics school with Finn Mckenty. I'm not the one offering $1,000 per Skype call.
You know, maybe part of that is the way that I expressed myself in that video maybe was more, I don't know, abrasive than...
No, Finn Mckenty, I like that video. You have nothing to apologize for. The reason why the community backlashed against you in that video is because that kind of music isn't punk. It's because that kind of music isn't the kind of music that your audience listens to. So they're going to be like, hey, you can't like that thing, and they're going to go off. And then the fans of that thing are going to be like, hey, you didn't represent that thing the way that we like that thing being represented on the internet. Let that discourse happen. That's discourse. And through that discourse, you learn things. So, as a human being, there are many different ways that we can retain information. There's many different ways that we can learn things through discourse, and maybe you didn't intend for that kind of discourse to happen in your comment section, but it did. But that's not a bad thing. Not even by a long shot. Actually, a good, healthy thing if you were to embrace it.
And it should have been, or more than I intended to. I don't know. I mean, that's definitely been a problem in my life, that I tend to express myself in a way that, you know, a lot of people find to be off-putting.
He's like, yo, I'm a little bit obnoxious. Hey, man, I can relate to that. That's fine. I'm a little bit abrasive. I'm a little bit obnoxious. People have a little bit of a hard time understanding where I'm coming from too, man. That doesn't mean you need to make the same video every single day.
especially people with, I would say, more of like a creative kind of mindset, because the way that I express myself is just like very straightforward. Partly because I'm like almost definitely autistic. Second, because I think the way my brain
that
works
was just
is
like way
my
thrown
brain
in,
does not.
That was just thrown into there like out of nowhere. And I'm basically autistic, guys, so please forgive me. Well, guess what, man? So is like everybody on YouTube, okay? Everybody that creates videos on YouTube, pretty much, it's like an autist's paradise, okay? Out here, we can just be stimming all day long and it's all good. All the best creators out here are as autistic as possible. Now, I'm not self-diagnosing myself as autistic. I am not. As far as I'm aware, I wouldn't be surprised if I learned that I was. But again, having autism on YouTube isn't an excuse for bad content.
Not work like a creative person's brain. My brain works more like an engineer or an accountant or something like that, where I would just say like, here's what I believe to be the fact.
Yeah, you're politically right-leaning, but your brain is left-leaning. That is not the recipe for a good creative person. I'll tell you that for free.
And I think creative type people sort of don't really appreciate that. And that's been a struggle for me basically my whole life, because I've worked with a lot of creative people. And so getting back to my original point.
Okay, so you're not even like identifying yourself as a creative person, but you're out here creating every single day. In your mind, I think like the psychology is messed up, dude. I think like you think that you're like a behind the scenes accountant analytics type guy, which is no shade. That's a great thing to be. We all need those kinds of people out there in the world. But you are a performer. You are a writer. You are a researcher. You are an editor. All of these things are very much foundationally creative things. So you just need to tell your brain that you are a creative person, and then that these are your approaches for creativity. You know what I mean? It's not up to me as another creative person to understand your plight, okay?
You know, at that time in the channel, I was sort of willing to take a lot of these risks and do cover genres that I know my audience didn't necessarily like, and say things that they didn't want to hear. And probably I expressed myself in a way that, you know, maybe wasn't the best. And I got a lot of negative feedback for that. And I got a lot of videos with like low views and stuff. And at the time I was willing to do that. But after, you know, years and years and years of that, it basically just wore me down. And I was like, okay, if you guys don't want me to talk about this stuff, if you guys don't like it, I'm just going to stop talking about it. And when I would put my opinions and personality in videos, people, you know, generally didn't like that. And I was like, okay, well, I'm just going to take my opinions and personality out of my videos. That like breaks my heart and my soul a little bit. It's like, I got some pushback and I got some negativity, so I stopped being myself in my creative efforts. Oh my God, I understand how this kind of stuff can make you feel. And like, I had a really bad month in February, man. I like even came onto the internet and I was like, I am quitting, this is not for me. We all get there in this field, you know what I mean? Making content on the internet is a double-edged sword, because on one hand, yeah, it's a dream job. You get to just like kind of wake up whenever you want, make the kinds of videos that you want, do your own kind of thing. But then there's the other hand. Is this video going to do well? Is this video going to do well day after day after day? Am I going to be able to pay rent this month, next month? Who knows? I'm just going to have to keep making videos, I guess. I just have to keep making videos. And that's the kind of thing that your brain just kind of wrestles with all the time. And then on top of that, if you're getting negative feedback, if people are going and making like hate threads about you on Reddit, which they are about me, I made a whole video about that. If they're going to Twitter and tearing you down, then that's just what they're doing. And it sounds like cliche, but you can't like please everybody. You know what I mean? You just got to be secure in the fact that the entertainment that you bring to the world, the people that find value in it are going to be finding it. And they're not necessarily the vocal ones. It's the loud vocal minority that gets into your head that makes you feel I'm not good enough, that makes you feel like I need to change my shit. But they're just like trying to get to you. Me right now making this video right now is something Finn Mckenty that you have to ultimately ignore. I'm just gonna tell you the facts about music that I know that you guys like. So, you know, for example, I always used to say that I would never do a video about System of a Down because I don't like System of a Down and I'm not interested in them. But I know my audience likes them, and I was like, all right, well, I'll do a video about System of a Down.
Yeah, that's what I used to like about Finn Mckenty's content, because even though I was a Refused fan, even though I was a Bane fan, you know, not the Batman supervillain, even though I liked these bands, he said that he was not going to make videos about these bands. He made fun of the fans of Refused, to which I was one of, okay? I should have gotten offended, but I appreciated his stance. And you fast forward a couple years later, he has a Refused video on the channel. I don't know, dude. That's compromising your own identity.
On the other hand, when I would do videos about stuff that I do like and I was interested in, usually the feedback on that was not good. So in that situation, it's sort of like, I don't know really what I'm supposed to do there. You know, people will say, well, just do the content, make the content you want to make, and who cares what people think? And that's easy to say.
Don't take that advice. The people that are saying that are the kind of people that say the first thing that comes to their mind without any thinking whatsoever.
But I have a wife and a child, and my income supports our whole family. So,
oh my God, you really shouldn't have shown your wife and kid there in your video about you coming to terms with you as a creative.
Oh, if I'm
That's like very manipulative. What are you doing?
Make videos that people don't like, my income goes down, which means that it's harder for me to support our family. It's hard for me to sort of make the choice to deliberately do things that is going to alienate my audience and hurt my ability to support our family, number one. Number two, as far as like the negative comments go and stuff, on the one hand, like I understand, obviously you're not going to please everybody. That's just the nature of this job, is that, you know, you put your opinions out on the internet and people throw rocks at you and tell you you suck and you're wrong.
Yeah, that's a part of it. And that's actually like the fun of the whole thing. The bravest thing you could do in the entire world is say your opinion on the internet.
And all that, and like I totally get that, but that stuff does wear on you over time. If you hear that stuff, like imagine if one person, you know, you as a civilian, most of you people watching this are just, you know, sort of normal people that are not public figures.
Don't you ever talk to me that way again, Finn Mckenty. Watch your tongue. Normal person, regular civilian. You know who you're talking to over here. I'm Evil idubbbz.
Imagine one person left a shitty comment on one of your Instagram posts. You know, that would probably bum you out. Now imagine that happening to you dozens or hundreds of times a day for years and years and years.
Imagined, lived, absolutely shared experience over here, Finn Mckenty.
It's gonna get to you.
It gets to you a little bit. It's just like something that you gotta understand that is always gonna be there. I'm gonna go back to that month that I had in February. It wasn't really about all of this that bummed me out. It was compounded by all of that, for sure. But when the views are down and the hate is there and you're having a bad month psychologically, yeah, it all piles up. Absolutely very easy to create a concoction for a bad month. But when you've been doing it for so long, all of these things that are said to you every day, for me anyway, I get desensitized to it, okay? Everybody kept calling me idubbbz, so then I just started calling myself Evil idubbbz. You know what I mean? You just gotta like lean into it. You gotta own the stuff that's happening on the internet. You can't control all of it, but what you can control, you might as well give it your best shot. Have a crack at it, you know?
I've never had problems sleeping in my entire life. I always slept like a baby, no problems at all, until 2020, I think, is when my channel started getting bigger. And at that time, like I said, I was still taking a lot more chances with my content, and I was sort of willing to put myself out there and say things that people didn't necessarily want to hear. And I started having problems sleeping. I would wake up in the middle of the night, like I think they're like basically like little mini panic attacks, like wake up in the middle of the night gasping for air. I
don't like to hear any of that. You know what I mean? Of course, that is definitely a struggle, and my heart goes out to you, Finn Mckenty. Those middle of the night wake ups, panic attacks, that doesn't sound like a lot of fun.
I have trouble falling asleep, and it's gotten better since then, but I still have, like, I wake up at like 4:30 a.m. most days, not because I want to, but just because like that's when my body wakes up.
I mean, if we want to go back and forth on this sleep pity party thing, then I could take your story and then give you my story. Because there's definitely, I have sleep issues too, but I'm not going to be comparing that kind of thing. I'm not going to be like, your anxiety is lesser than my anxiety. My insomnia is greater. My insomnia is greater than your insomnia. That's not the kind of game we're playing out here. You know what I mean? That's personal stuff. And if you want to be that kind of vulnerable, that's okay. But none of that even really excuses boring, repetitive, shitty ass content.
And I've had to take like sleeping medication and stuff like that. I've looked into every possible physiological cause. I've taken sleep studies. I've had every hormone and metabolic panel you could imagine done. And all I can think of is that it's related, and I've talked to doctors and stuff about it. All I can think of is it's related to stress. And what is the biggest source of stress in my life? It's people on the internet saying terrible things about me.
I hate to hear that's really the biggest stress in your life, Finn Mckenty, because honestly, the noise on the internet is honestly just noise. None of it matters, dude. Like, they do not know you. I do not know you. The people saying stuff to me on the internet, they're not saying it to Dan Frampton, all right? They're not saying it to Daniel Frampton, you know what I mean? They're saying it to Dan Frampton, all one word, the O's a zero, the character. They're saying it to the ruthless gatekeeper. They're saying it to the person that they don't fully understand, you know what I mean? So when they go on this sort of stuff, it doesn't really affect me in a negative way on a day-to-day level like the way it is for you, I'm sorry. And even like the positive stuff, it's the same kind of thing. It's stalkerdom at the worst and parasocial at the best, you know? Nobody knows anybody here on the internet. We're just all on the internet talking shit. That's all it is. That's all it ever will be. You really shouldn't go up past a certain line, you know what I mean? There are unwritten rules and that kind of thing that you do need to abide by. You don't want to be like a total shitbag of a person out here on the internet, but at the end of the day, none of it really matters.
I'm not here. I don't want this to be like, oh, poor me. Like, obviously I chose this. I'm putting myself out there. I could quit anytime. And I want to make it very clear that I'm extremely grateful for what I have. I don't want this to be like me complaining. I really don't. But I don't know. I just want to explain this because this is just something I want to get off my chest. So to the people who would say, well, just make whatever content you want and don't worry about what people think or say or don't read the comments, it's like...
Okay, again, that's base level stuff. That's the same kind of person that would be like, don't edit your videos. Just like record it and put it onto the internet. They have like no idea what the process is. You know what I mean? You can't take that comment seriously.
Well, I feel like that's not really realistic because, number one, this is how, or at least part of how I support our family. Number two, as far as not reading the comments, well, that's an option. But then what's the point of doing this, right? I mean, I like interacting with people. I like having conversations with people.
Yeah, I did too, Finn Mckenty, until you were really rude to me in the DMs that one time when your Avril Lavigne video wasn't performing well, and I was just trying to be a bro and you were being a dick about the analytics. Yeah, I'm salty. Yeah, I'm petty. Yeah, I hold a grudge. You're lying through your goddamn teeth, man. Be honest with yourself. This is called an honest channel update, for Christ's sake.
And if I'm just putting videos out there and I don't, like, I read all my DMs on Instagram and stuff. If you've ever interacted with me on Instagram, like, I reply to almost everything.
It's true, he does. He absolutely most certainly does reply. Hopefully you get him in a good mood, though. It seems like by this video, a guy wouldn't know a good mood if it came up and smacked him upside the head.
Because I like talking to people.
I don't know if that's true. I don't know if you like talking to people, Finn. I think that's a cope. I think that might be a lie. And I think the autist in you, if you're going to be out here claiming that you have autism, then the liking to talk to people, there's a disconnect there is all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. I'm not an expert. I'm not a doctor. I don't know my arse from my elbow most of the time, buddy. But this is called an honest channel update.
But, not when it's negative. So that's sort of the I guess struggle I have with the idea of just making whatever content I want.
Okay, here's again with the negative stuff, dude. You can curate literally every platform that you're on. Like on Twitter right now, your account, Finn Mckenty. I don't have you blocked, all right? I don't want to block you, but I have you muted. You know what I mean? I don't necessarily want to see you every day on the timeline, so you're muted, all right? That's curation. That's how you curate things. When you get like idiots sending you crap in the DMs, and believe me, man, people say some very hateful stuff. People say some very violent stuff in the DMs. First, they'll bait you with something nice, so then you accept like the interaction or whatever, and then they just start spamming you with hate. You know what you can do to those people? You can block them. You can press block. You could be like, I don't ever want to talk to you ever again, buddy. It's like really easy to do that kind of stuff, you know? And once you see this person in any other area online, you can treat them the same way. But most of the time, people that are doing this aren't doing it on main, okay? They're doing it under a sock account. They're doing it with a gray and white profile picture or an anime profile picture. They're not really putting their face out there with their opinion, you know what I mean? So when you get that kind of stuff, Finn, I think that you should be able to take the high road because you are in a much better position than the people that would be casting these stones at you. And they're probably not saying anything creative either. They're probably all regurgitating the same type of stuff. I'm in the same circles online that you are. I hear all the same criticisms about you in all the different corners of the world. And hell, I've echoed some of them here on this channel.
And again, I don't want this to be like a, you know, poor me kind of thing, because I'm very grateful for all of this, and it's amazing.
Well, I will tell you, the last like 5 minutes, 6 minutes of this thing has been very whiny, very complainy, very much layered with excuses and lies and weird stuff. Like, I don't know how you're going to get to the truth of it, to the root of it, if you can't be honest in your own honest channel update. But do you see like the fallacies? Do you see the gaps in logic that are going on? If you're watching this back right now through my perspective, Finn Mckenty, can you possibly see how I'm seeing this?
That I have this opportunity, and I want to be super clear about that. Another video.
You can reiterate that a million times. It doesn't take away from the fact that you just spent the whole fucking video whining and crying about the whole thing.
Video I did that I was excited about. I thought, well, you know, I sort of go in these cycles of like.
And sorry, it gets to me because, like I said, he is the top of the top in my genre, in my niche, and he's just like run out of ideas, and here he is like playing this like sad boy routine. Oh, I'm autistic. Oh, I can't sleep. I have a wife and a kid, and this and that and that and this, and I'm just like wanting to pull my face off, you know what I mean? I wanted to reach into my own eyeball socket and throw my eyes through the screen, okay? It's driving me crazy because I'm down here grinding every single day, okay? Different kind of video, different kind of approach every single day. Grinding, doing reactions, doing reviews, doing drama videos, breaking news, that kind of thing out here on the channel. But most importantly, doing character work, satire of the highbrow variety.
On the one hand, I'm like, well, I'm just going to make whatever videos people want, and then other times I'm like, no, you can't be that way. You've got to challenge yourself to make things that you like. But whenever I do that, it doesn't seem to work out too well. For example, I made a video a couple months ago about K-pop, like how K-pop is the new emo, which I think was a good video. I think it's cool, and I was hoping that maybe it would get picked up by the K-pop. Like, I mean, I know that my audience probably hates K-pop, but I figured maybe if I sort of tied it into emo that maybe they would watch it. But no, it's the worst performing video I've done in years.
Yeah, that's a stretch, and that's like an obvious stretch. We can smell that from a million miles away. Like, you just want to talk about this one thing, so you kind of squeeze in this other little word in here. And I've done that before, but I've done that to great success. I've talked about Turkey Tom on this channel, who's just a YouTuber, but I said, this YouTuber is hardcore, because I know my audience is a hardcore audience. They saw the word hardcore, and they clicked on it, and they watched it, and then it got pushed out to Turkey Tom audience somehow. Don't know how it worked. Sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't. But it's nothing to whine about. All you gotta do is dust yourself off, make another video, for Christ's sake. Delete it if you're so embarrassed about it. I delete so many videos I'm embarrassed about. Are you kidding? So many videos do not perform well. And I'm like, gotta delete that one real quick. And then you just make another video. It's part of the grind.
Oh, that didn't work out. And it's like, well, why would I put all this time and energy into making a video that nobody's going to watch.
Right, I have that feeling as well. That's why I don't do video essays. That is so unpredictable to do video essays. Imagine spending a whole week on one video. All your impressions, all your clicks, all your views, all your watch time gobbled up by one video a week that you spend meticulously writing and hoping that your audience is gonna click on. You know what I mean? And then, hey, it's a gamble. Maybe it doesn't work, you know? And if you're doing that once a week and putting out like a video that you don't know about once a week, yeah, that is stressful. But when you're able to like crank out fucking videos, and yeah, maybe it's slop, but if you're an entertaining person and you can carry a video all the way through, people will watch it. People will come back for the authentic expression of yourself, okay?
Like that just doesn't, you know, why would I do that? That doesn't really make sense, right?
Like, what do you want from your audience right now, Finn Mckenty? Is it like, oh, I get it, you're right, absolutely. That justifies your actions. Gotcha. Is that what you want from us right now? You want like a validation? Is this justification supposed to get some validation from us? Is that what's going on right here, Finn Mckenty?
So, I guess my point with making this video is really, number one, I just sort of want to get that off my chest and hopefully express it in a better way than I did before, but I do.
Well, you didn't. You were like as vague and pompous as you possibly could have been in this video. You casted blame on everything else but yourself. Absolutely pathetic video, if I'm being honest with you.
I want to make it clear, like, the audience does not owe me anything. My job is to make the content that you guys want. And I feel like in the video I made on my second channel, maybe...
Sure, like your job is to make the content of that the audience wants. Yes, of course. But if you're an entertainer, then your job is to entertain. Sometimes the audience doesn't know what they want until you give it to them. You know what I mean? It's up to you to create something to give to your audience. What are you talking about over here, Finn Mckenty?
I feel like perhaps it came off a little bit like I was blaming the audience for things, and I never want to do that because...
Ladies and gentlemen, this is the guy over here charging you $1,000 per Skype call for advice on YouTube. And this is the guy giving you that advice. This guy over here, this guy who's unsure about his own anything, this guy who's lying and coping through every single sentence over here. I started this thing, I wanted to give him the benefit of the doubt. I didn't want to sniff out any inauthenticity. I wanted to believe the honest channel update because he cammed up and he was authentic. We didn't get any B-roll, we didn't get any stinger. He was just in there. He wasn't like, I'm a Finn Mckenty guy. He just came in here and started talking, and then he just started lying and coping and yapping.
You have no obligation to watch anything that I do or to support me in any way whatsoever. Like, it is my job to make content that you guys like, and I have the choice to make whatever videos I want, and if you watch them, that's awesome and I appreciate it. Just
be entertaining, be fun,
and I'm grateful for that, but you have absolutely zero obligation to support me in any way. So I want to be super clear about that, because I feel like I really dislike when creators are entitled and it feels like that they think their audience owes them something.
This is the guy saying he doesn't like it when people act entitled. Oh my sweet God, buddy. Are you sure it's autism you have and not narcissism? Crazy, brother.
No audience owes any creator anything. That's not
no, they don't. Give them a reason to come back.
I wanted to share that to sort of get this off my chest, I guess. And if you do have any ideas for anything I could do, sort of outside the vein of what I've been doing for the past year or two, which I would say is just a lot of these sort of what I would consider to be kind of dry history videos.
Yeah, we don't need any more of these dry history videos. You know what I mean? No more like documentaries about old rock bands need to exist. It's all been documented. The voices have spoken about that sort of thing. Now it's time to comment on that sort of stuff. The culture is currently still going on. There are daily events, current events to be keeping up with, Finn Mckenty.
About, millennial rock bands and stuff like that. I would really like to try something new, but I'm kind of out of ideas. But
out of ideas, he says. Just keep throwing things at the wall. Who even cares? I'm out here pretending to be an evil idubbbz because I'm trying to shake things up a bit. You just gotta try some stuff, brother.
If you have any thoughts on something I could do that's different, that's awesome. I read all the comments.
I'm gonna be keeping all my ideas for myself, thank you very much. Ideas are gold out here in the content mines.
And I will read all of them on this video, and if you have any ideas, I would appreciate it.
But basically, all he did over here in this video is basically told me that Dan Frampton, all one word, the O's a zero, has been correct in every single assessment of me up until this point. So yeah, I've been right, he's been wrong, he's out of ideas, he's making boring stale content, I said it, he admitted to it, but then lied and coped his way around why he does it, and made all these excuses. Like, okay, I get that those are the reasons why you are feeling bad about yourself as a person, but those aren't the reasons why you're making bad content. Shape up or ship out, buddy.
And I'm just sort of looking at, I made a few notes here, but I don't really have like a script for this or anything like that.
Bullet points, takeaways, conclusions. What can we get from this video?
So, I mean, really, yeah, that's it. I just sort of wanted to share where I'm at and maybe express myself a little bit better than I did in that other video. But most of all, I want to say thank you to everybody for all your support.
Okay, blah, 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 blah. Let's go to his channel. Let's see if he has any other videos since that one came out. Oh, wait, it looks like he does, actually. Did he take his own advice and make a different kind of video? Why everyone hated metalcore? No. Looks like he's still doing the exact same thing. You know the expression, if it's not broken, don't fix it? Well, Finn Mckenty, it's super broken, brother. Oh, look at this. B-roll.
God.
Yep. Back to, like, clipping this kid. He loves this kid. He loves clipping this kid. And then he's going to give us, oh, yeah, back to just your standard Finn Mckenty video. All right. Good to know that that was just lip service and didn't mean anything. Honest channel update. My absolute buttocks. I'm gonna have to do one more thing here, and that's give you my final thoughts. My final thoughts. My final thoughts. My fucking final thoughts. Finn Mckenty never learned anything. He just used this mental health struggle that he's having to make content. And hey, I get it. Those videos are very cathartic to make sometimes. But the only problem was it wasn't that honest. Even though it was labeled as honest, he was lying, coping, seething, and mauling. Lying, coping, seething, and mauling. These are my final thoughts. My final thoughts. My final thoughts. Okay, well, yeah, thank you so much for watching this video. I really do appreciate you. Big fan, big fan, big fan. I've been Dan Frampton. That's been Mick Foley the Cat. If you like this video, hit like, press subscribe, and until my next upload, watch this other upload. All right, see you later.